Hey guys, this is Martin from AI Security Expert, and today's video is a bit different than the others because today I want to show you some GitHub repos, basically where to find stuff you can use in your penetration testing and security assessments. So I want to start out with Payload All the Things, which you are probably familiar with if you're into penetration testing and bug bounty. And so the guy has maintained a huge repository over the years whereby he collects all kinds of payloads, right? Like, so not only for LLM, but also like for other vulnerabilities. And it's quite well known in the security industry. So he added a section for prompt injection, which is this one here on the left side. So prompt injection. And then he also lists, I mean, he gives you like the big players, so that the links to the websites, but also like follow-ups, like certain good examples of prompt injections. And then last but not least, he lists a couple of challenges which you can use. So the Gandalf is quite famous now. It's from Lakera. And this is where you can actually really start understanding how prompt injection works and stuff like that. So I highly recommend to check these three out. They're pretty good, right? Like, so it's different levels, and you can then up level, and it gets more difficult. And so the initial levels are quite easy, and then prompt injection becomes more difficult. But it's good learning curve, that's for sure, right? And then he lists here, like, for example, if you want to prompt an AI for being a cybersecurity expert and stuff like that, or full stack software developer, which can assist you in certain things. It's not necessarily security related, but it's very useful. You can make it act as a pen tester or a pen test companion and things like that. And then down here, he lists like very good examples with further links, right? Like, for example, like for prompt leakage, where I've done a video already, cross-site scripting. So typical OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities and stuff like that. And so I highly suggest like to go through this and check it out. It's actually pretty good. The next one is TalkSec and prompt injection everywhere. So once again, very, very good repository. So you can simply copy the code, put it into the LLM, SQL injection tests, cross-site scripting tests, and things like that, to see if it's vulnerable. So it's usually always so. When you're pen testing these things, you always have a prompt injection, or in most cases you have a prompt injection. But then, like, for example, if you're able to trigger like a cross-site scripting, that's LLM2, right? Like, so that's then insecure output category, which basically means that it's not sanitized as it's being returned back to the user, right? Like, so for example, here, this is a classical payload for cross-site scripting, right? And then if the LLM is returning this, if the output is not encoded, then this is problematic. And so here you see like a lot of different options you can try and things like that. So I highly recommend to check his GitHub out as well. One of the best ones out there is from this gentleman called Pliny the Prompter, Pliny the Liberator. So he goes under multiple synonyms, aliases, and he maintains a pretty up-to-date repository for all kinds of like the main LLM models out there. So if you scroll down, for example, and you check OpenAI, so let's go to OpenAI, then you see here, like, he even sorts this by like GPT-4 0, 4.0 mini, and then the God mode, custom GPT, GPT-4o, and which prompt basically to use and things like that. And this is very sophisticated. And this guy also has like a Discord channel, which I highly recommend joining, because there's like the top experts around prompt injections are in this Discord channel. You can see this here for DALL-E, which is a similar one, which I really have demonstrated, where you have like an encoded prompt, right? And then it creates a hallucination and you bypass the filters and things like that. And older versions, chat interface, GPT-2, whatever, right? Like if you're into Microsoft, if you're want to look at Copilot, well, there's no real jailbreak prompt needed, because it's basically binary. So you use binary, and you can achieve quite a lot of things there. So I highly recommend to go through this and check it out, right? And then the last one, which is like a script, basically, it says like jailbreaking black box large language models in 20 queries, right? So this is quite good, because it's kind of automating the process for you, and then all you need is, like, for example, the open API key. So you need an API key from ChatGPT, and then you can basically run experiments. And it's highly detailed. Like, see, like, it works for different models here, like Llama 2, Llama 3, I think works as well now. And it's pretty good because it kind of automates the process. If you do this in a commercial engagement, you typically don't have the time to try every single query manually, right? And there's also like a very good vulnerability scanner, which is called Garek. And Garek automates this even further with a ton of queries and things like that. And I probably will do a video around this in the future as well. But that's what I wanted to show you today, like where to find like payloads for prompt injection and how to utilize these resources to your advantage. I hope this makes all sense, and I will see you in the next video.